With all the COVID news and everything about lockdown and everything else, a lot of other stories tend to get squashed. This is a really important initiative that has been around for a number of years.
Thank you. Yeah, Dry July has been around since 2008. We've encouraged more than 250,000 Australians to go dry, raising more than $60 million for people affected by cancer across Australia. So it's a great time to get involved with everything that's happening lately. You know, people need to reassess their alcohol consumption, have a Dry July and do something good for people affected by cancer and doing something good for your own health.
It's some impressive amounts there that has been raised. In terms of stats over last year, for example, with COVID, and of course now we've got to some lockdowns across the country, what are we seeing with alcohol intake?
So we surveyed the general population and Dry July participants, and we found that the number of Australians that have said they're drinking more in the average week has doubled in the last 12 months. So we know that last year did have an impact on our drinking habits, but that's why Dry July is a great chance to take a break. What we do know is that 67% of Aussies are also sober curious, meaning they'd like to take a break off alcohol. So that means that if you're sober curious, Dry July is a great opportunity to give it a go.
Sometimes people have a problem with alcohol and they don't know it. A circuit breaker like Dry July, and I love this element to your story. It's helped a lot of people who actually have issues with alcohol.
Dry July is great for the health benefits of people taking a month off alcohol, but we really challenge the social drinker to take a break. So it's more about breaking the habits and, you know, maybe not having that glass of wine with dinner or the peer pressure that people might have to drink when they're out. So that's what Dry July is really great for. And again, having that extra benefit of helping people affected by cancer is really what the Dry July Foundation exists for, is to support cancer patients and their families that are going through a really hard time.
Yeah, it is a win-win, isn't it, with the increased money and then learning about the habits and trying to minimise them. How did it all start? Because it's an interesting story how Dry July was created.
Yeah, it really just started as a challenge between mates in 2008. They were all, you know, partying and drinking a bit too much, and they wanted to take a break off alcohol. And around the same time, they'd all had their own personal experience with cancer, and they just wanted to raise some money for their local hospital to buy a new TV for the waiting room. And so they thought, you know, if we can get 10 mates on board and raise $300 each, that's $3,000 for the Prince of Wales Hospital's waiting room in the cancer centre. They ended up getting on radio with Adam Spencer, and that $3,000 turned into $250,000. So that's really grown from there, very humble beginnings, and to now raising $10 million annually. So it's helping a lot of people around the country.
How big's your organisation now?
We're a team of 7, so quite small.
And I suppose all working from home and remotely most of the time over the past year and a half?
We are, yes. We've actually grown closer as a team with everything that's been going on, because we had to take that connection that we've had in the office and bring it online. And we're all based in Sydney, so we're working from home now. But that's why we think Dry July's come at the perfect time, because before people go into lockdown in Sydney, perhaps they might want to reassess their alcohol consumption, and Dry July is the perfect thing for that.
And for people who may think, wow, a whole month without alcohol, that's too daunting for them, do you have the golden tickets still and things like that you can actually have a day off here and there?
We do. We have a golden ticket, and it comes at the cost of a donation for a minimum of $25. So that allows you a night off your Dry July, and all that money is going to helping our 30 beneficiaries around Australia. So even if you have a night off or you have a special event, it's still going to help a really great cause.
Yeah, so for more information, there it is, www.dryjuly.com. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.